we're here with Jamie. We've talked to Jamie before. Jamie has also been absolutely instrumental in getting the stories that we've been getting out. So I want to seriously thank you, and thank you for all the work you've been doing here. You're walking around, and folks respect you. Folks know that you're out here actually fighting for them. And I know a lot of our viewers and everyone who are watching, and me personally, I'm seeing it, and you're crushing it out here. So I know you might not get the recognition all the time, but you deserve it. You're working your butt off over here, and it's obvious. I guess what are your thoughts after this town hall here? How do you think everything went tonight?
When you burn a chlorinated chemical like vinyl chloride, you generate dioxins. Dioxins, this category, there's like 75 of these dioxins. One of them is the most toxic chemical ever tested in the United States. It is a nasty chemical. And so there's a reason, I think, why the government isn't testing for this.
And for dioxins and chemicals like dioxins, once they are in the soil, they don't break down very easily. And another property of them is because they're big and heavy, they tend to start to accumulate in certain pools.
I think it went good, but I think I have more fear. Even though we helped organize this, I hadn't sat down and talked to the scientist, and it's exactly what I expected. They don't know. There's all this, they can say what they think it is, but people don't know because it hasn't been tested. And that's what I've been trying to drive home. That's why I wouldn't go home. If you haven't tested it, you can't tell me that it's safe.
No, absolutely. I mean, the conversation around dioxins tonight was alarming, eye-opening. I mean, I said earlier, if that's not freaking front page news on every single thing across the United States that this isn't being tested for, I don't know what should be. We talked to a woman from she was like a water environmental activist, and she said one thing to me that really stood out, and it was like, the reason it's not being done is right now the government is prioritizing speed, cheapness. Like these sorts of things are like they're putting oh, let's get this done fast and cheap over people's lives in East Palestine to save a couple bucks.
Right. And where's the supervision? The EPA came out and said the railroad covered up that pit. Why wasn't someone watching?
Right.
Why were they allowed to do that? I've never been one of those people that believe in the government conspiracies, but I believed what I saw with my own eyes and what I smelled. When they said it's safe, evacuation lifted, go back home, I'm like, I don't care what a scientist says. I know my gut instinct. I smell it. I see it. So, yeah, it's...
Yeah, and I mean, we also, it's
overwhelming. Like I said, the amount of issues that we have right now, the things that we just learned, that as we sit here right now, we could be breathing in. I'm feeling very overwhelmed right now. I'm feeling angry. I'm pissed. Nobody is coming in to help. I mean, we're seeing some of the politicians now. We're getting some of the help now. But why didn't we get that before? Right. Our lives do matter.
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that it's taken essentially almost 3 weeks at this point. I mean, it's almost 3 weeks since this happened initially, and now now the EPA is coming, now FEMA is coming. That delay is outrageous. That when something like this happens, what happens early on is going to be what's most important to make sure that this all happens, right? You got to make sure that these folks are taken care of. We talked to your health expert tonight, and I asked him, and I was like, hey, why do you think that the US EPA at this point, we just heard tonight during this meeting, isn't testing for dioxin? And he told me, he's like, it's speculation, but I think that the government is worried the can of worms that they're going to open if they find it. They're worried about the can of worms they're open. They're not worried about we saw the gentleman with the little baby in here asking, what am I supposed to do about this?
Because how do you remedy it? The pollution is so widespread. How do you remedy it? And I talked to men that were sitting there with tears in their eyes saying, as protectors, we're supposed to protect our children. We can't do that right now. We're taking them into homes that we don't feel safe in, not because, we want to, but because we have to. We don't have the means to pick up and move. We don't have anywhere to go. Someone from the railroad said, well, why are you driving from West Virginia? You can't stay with family? And like I said in there's 47 of my family live within this 1 mile zone. Which one of their houses should I have went to? I just feel helpless, I guess. We need help. We need help now. We don't need money years from now. We don't need, to worry about anything else except for immediate needs and getting people out of here. We're being poisoned slowly. That's what's happening.
Shame. And I mean, even today they were talking about the water. Ronnie and some of his friends that we interviewed them the other day, and it was like he came up, he's like, oh, can you interview me and my friends? And I'm like, oh, I'd love to. Let's just make sure it's okay with the parents and everything. And they're like, sure. And I'm asking him because I think that the impact on the kids it's insane that these kids are having to go through this right now. So I'm asking them how it's going, and I asked them how it is at school. And the kids told me that they can fill up their water bottles inside of the school still today. We just heard, again, in there that the water isn't being tested for dioxins. The tests that had been being done are being done by CTEH and Tetra Tech. We've done some reporting on both of those companies. Both of them have questionable past at best with issues of falsifying information, with mishandling of data. And in the schools, because the water is safe, a kid could fill up his water bottle right now. That, It drives me nuts.
Right. It's safe, but drink bottled water. The mixed messages. It's safe to breathe the air in Mahoning County, but stay indoors. The fact that there's nothing around these creeks, that those kids still go down there and play in the creeks. And I feel like, with the wine, I drank the water. Bring your kids down and play in the creek with mine this summer. There's a huge difference, switching that focus to, we keep getting the message the water's fine. You're talking about the drinking water, and you're talking about right this second. So it's scary to me the way that words are being manipulated, what I feel like, to keep people in the dark. They thought we were just going to lay down and take this. We weren't going to say anything. And do you think all those people would be in town now? Do you think FEMA would have been here if it wasn't for us raising hell? Nobody would be here. Nobody cares.
The only reason that people are showing up is because of folks like you getting this out here. Folks like a lot of folks you've referred me to. Candace has been out getting all this information. Jenna Catone. I just want to shout some of these people out because you all are working. Oh, you all are working super hard to get all of this message out there. Even we talked to Moo the other day. Her story is so tough. She was told, like, okay, yeah, it's fine to stay here, but just stay inside. And then, days later, someone comes knock on the door and she's not feeling well in there. She's been diagnosed with the bronchitis of some sort, and she's not really doing well. She's got an inhaler and everything like this. And she was told she literally told me, either leave now or you're going to leave in a body bag. You can't make it up.
And the stories of the people that couldn't leave. My nieces had a friend of theirs who their father said during the controlled burn he didn't have enough gas money to get out of town. So those kids were here, and their dad put them in the attic to try to keep them safe. That's not fair. We're human beings. These are our lives. These are not politics. These are not big corporations. This is not about anything except for lives.